We all carry stuff through life: burdens, expectations, goals we set years ago. But what if some of that weight, what if it isn't even ours to begin with? Today, we're diving into this idea of the heavy things we carry without ever realizing we even pick them up. This is all about the unquestioned weight.
Okay? This sentence right here, this is the heart of our entire explainer. It's such a powerful reminder to just stop and check in with ourselves. It's a challenge, really. It's asking you to look at the habits, the roles, and the goals you've been clinging to for years and ask, hey, does this still belong here?
I love this metaphor. Imagine you walk into a gym. You see a barbell on the rack, already loaded up with plates. What do? Honestly, most of us, without even thinking, we just start lifting. We don't ask if it's the right weight for us or who put it there. We just start the workout. And that is exactly how so many of us approach life. But a smart lifter, an intentional lifter, they do something totally different. They pause, they actually check the bar. They ask themselves, wait a sec, is this weight going to help me reach my goals? Or am I just lifting this thing because it was already here? And that, right there, is the crucial shift in mindset we're talking about. So what are these weights that aren't really ours? Well, the source material for this explainer has a great name for them: leftover loads. Think about that. These are the burdens that were left on the bar of your life by someone else, and you just walked up and started lifting. It is time we learn how to spot them. Now, a leftover load isn't just any old challenge. It's a very specific kind of burden, one that's totally out of sync with who you are today and where you actually want to go. And here's the kicker: we often accept them unconsciously. We don't even realize we've picked them up. So, what does this look like in the real world? This slide gives us some powerful examples. Maybe for you, it's an old goal you don't even believe in anymore, kind of like a trophy just gathering dust. Or what about a role you were assigned but never actually chose for yourself? Or, and this is a big one, a version of you that you are just exhausted from performing every single day. Do any of those hit home? And this is how it happens, right? Someone, somewhere, at some point, needed you to be something. And you stepped up. You became the strong one, or the planner, or the peacemaker. You didn't necessarily sign a contract for it, but you just kept holding that weight. Maybe because you thought you had to, or maybe because no one else was gonna. But that whole idea of being the strong one brings up a really critical question. We often think carrying a heavy load is a sign of strength. But what if it's not strength at all? What if it's just strain? What if some of these weights aren't building you up, but are actually slowly just grinding you down? This chart just lays out the difference perfectly. On one side, you have an aligned weight. It's a chosen challenge. Yeah, it's hard, but it serves your purpose. It makes you stronger. But a leftover load, that's an unquestioned burden. It's draining your energy not because it's a good workout, but simply because it's familiar, and it was never truly yours. Okay, so what's the next step? It's simple, but it's not easy. We have to give ourselves permission to pause and to finally check the bar. This is the moment we start to take back control of our own workout. Let's start with the first big question. I want you to think about a major stressor or a big responsibility in your life right now. Got it? Now ask yourself honestly, is this truly mine? Did I choose this, or was it just handed to me by family, by my job, by my situation? Now for the second question, which is just as important. Maybe you did choose this weight at some point. That's fine. But does it still serve the person you are today? Or are you just holding on to it because it's familiar, Sometimes the comfort of what we know feels safer than the uncertainty of letting go. And this right here is the bottom line. Growth requires the right kind of resistance, the right kind of weight. If you are just struggling under a weight that was never designed for you, you're not growing, you're just surviving. Real progress, real strength, begins the moment you're brave enough to question the load. So how do we move forward? Look, the solution isn't to stop lifting altogether. Not at all. It's about developing a new, much more intentional routine, one where you're consciously choosing every single thing you carry. And here it is, your new regimen. It's 3 simple steps. First, drop. Have the guts to let go of the roles, goals, and identities that are just outdated. Second, keep. Intentionally hold on to the challenges that truly build you up. And finally, lift. With all that new clarity and energy, you can now lift what is authentically 100% yours. This is your first step, your call to action. Take a moment right now if you can and fill in that blank for yourself. Just naming that weight, it's the first, most powerful step toward deciding if it still belongs on your bar. So I'll leave you with this. Now that you know what to look for, what leftover load will you finally put down?